Now that we've been looking at text, I thought we'd look at something really simple in Illustrator, which is a line. Now, although it's really easy to draw lines in almost any program, I think they're a little bit overlooked in Illustrator because it's got very powerful tools when it comes to lines. So in this case, I've still got my pumpkin. It's still Halloween. Let's grab a rounded rectangle about that big there. What we'll do is we'll again take the fill away and we'll put a stroke. But this time we'll go a little bit different with the color and we'll put a orange outline around it. So our rectangle looks like this. You can see I'm using the oranges because it kind of looks cool. It's kind of matching. And what I'm going to do is just pretend that I'm labeling this pumpkin. So what I want is text to actually be inside an orange box. Now, we know that if we put the text in an area tool here, as soon as I do that, the rectangle itself disappears. So let me undo that. To get around that, I'm very simply going to click on Alt and drag, make a copy of my rectangle and just keep it there for now. I'm going to click on my text in an area and click there. You can see that I've already got my text there. I'm going to take my rounded rectangle and I'm going to, while pressing Alt on my keyboard, I'm going to make it bigger. And you can see that pressing Alt on your keyboard while you resize keeps your shape in the center and allows you to resize going outwards. And what I've done there is created a text box, copied the outline that I already had to create kind of a stylish text box that I really like. I'm just going to move that rectangle with my keyboard there. I'm going to select both of those and with Command G or Control G I'm going to press group, and that is now one single unit, which is really nice. I don't have to worry about moving one and then the other. What I want to do is just create a label to that top part of the pumpkin. You can imagine this would be really useful in a technical document where you had to label parts of something. So let's go and grab a line. We can do this in a really simple way just by clicking on the line tool, clicking from about there to about there, and that's a line. Like that. And although that looks good, it could look so much better. So what should we do? Let's click on the line. Let's zoom in a little bit so that we can actually see what's happening. Let's make this line a little bit fatter, so about 4. That should do it. If we now go into that panel over here where it says fill and stroke, that's our appearance panel. I'm now going to click on the actual word stroke. And you can see that a new panel appears. And this is really powerful because what it lets us do is decide how the line looks. If I just click out here, you can see that a simple line with square ends really looks unfinished. Let's click on it again, click on that stroke, get the stroke panel. One of the first things we can do is just round the ends of the line. Let's just click out, and you can see already that looks so much better. Let's take this a little bit further. Let's go back to the stroke panel. In this case, we could, for example, use the dashed line. It doesn't look so good there, but it's useful in other applications where you need a dashed line. Let's get rid of that. What I want to do is actually create some kind of arrowhead. So what we could do is grab a subtle arrow, and I think we might grab that one there, and we can do that. So we've now got a line which has turned itself into an arrow. In this case it looks good, but not really what I'm after. So let's grab the line again, go back to our stroke panel. I'm going to take that arrowhead off. I actually don't want an arrow in this case, so I'll just put it back to none now. What I do want though is a very stylish way of kind of saying I'm pointing at this and this is the label. So in this case, rather than doing an arrowhead, I'm going to go for a circle. A circle I like to go for normally is one of these empty ones. It's really quite cool. In this case, I think that's a little bit too big, so let's go under it and take it from 100% to, I was thinking about 50% or so. That should do it. On this side of the line, I'm also going to put something. In this case, I'm going to put a solid circle. So if I scroll down, you can see there's a solid circle. Again, I think it's too big. I'm going to actually turn that to 40%. That's pretty cool. Now, what I would love to do is actually move this line around so that I've got full control of it. Let's just click out of there. So in this case, using the black arrow simply allows me to move the line as a line. But if I was to click on the white arrow, I can now go to my line and actually move one end. So I'm going to actually put that circle right next to the object I want to label. And on this side, I'm going to move that circle until it does something like that. And you can see with this design, this label and this arrow or this line kind of belong together. Now I've noticed that the circle isn't aligned perfectly, so I'm just going to, because I'm really fussy about that, I'm going to move it there so it's more centralized. And that's a really simple way of getting your poster, your leaflet or your publication to look really quite smart.